Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Stoltari, and I'm a genealogist and a passionate traveler. Over the last 4 years, I have been focusing my attention on les filles du roi, getting to know each and every one of these over 700 women. And I think we're on episode 304 right now. We have come so far, we're almost halfway there. And it's just been an incredible odyssey of being able to really understand the individual lives that were affected and affected others. So let's carry on and let's do another Fille du Roi today. But before we do, let me show you ways you can support the channel. The first three keep you in the know: subscribe, like, and notify. The next couple of ways are ways that you can help the channel financially, and that is by becoming a member, 99 cents a month, or all the way up, I think there's 4 levels, so 99 cents all the way to $24.99. And if you click on the link, you'll see the perks and everything that each level gives you. And it can be canceled at any time, so no worries. And also on my PayPal button on my website, Have Roots Will Travel. A lot of people use that. And a lot of people are using this super thanks that YouTube is promoting right now. You click on that little link on the bottom of your screen, and it's like sort of saying, hey, I really like this video, or thank you for that video. So I just got a couple the other day and was like, oh, this is really neat. Thank you so much. So with that being said, I want to say, let's get on with the show. Today we're going to be looking at Les Filles du Roi, episode 304, Anne Leroy. Sometimes she's called Anne Leroy, but let's go with the Leroy for today. She comes to us from a viewer request, so I'm very happy to be able to investigate. And I did not have her in my files, so it's a pleasure to get to know Anne a little bit better. Let's get started. Born in 1641 in Paris, France. Her parents were François Leroy and Anne Bourdois. The church that she would have been baptized in would be the Church of Saint-Germain-l'Auxerrois, which is right across now from the Louvre Palace in Paris's first arrondissement. The church dates back to the 13th century with major modifications in the 15th and 16th centuries. It is the second largest, and it served as the parish church for the Louvre from 1608 to 1806, and because of its size was able to host Notre Dame services following the 2019 fire. The first arrondissement, of which she belongs, is one of Paris's oldest areas and spans the right bank of the Seine and part of the Ile de la Roman era heart. It is home to the Louvre Museum, Tuileries Gardens, and Forum des Halles. It is a small yet historically and culturally significant area. Absolutely one of the top places that people want to go to. I love that church. After losing both her parents, Anne would embark on the greatest adventure of her life. She signed on to become a fille du roi. She sailed on Le Prince Maurice, arriving in New France on the 30th of July, 1671. She brought with her a dowry worth about £300. The groom that she selected, and who selected her, he would come from Portugal. His name was Jean Rodrigue, which sounds French, but really Rodriguez is very Spanish. He was born about 1641 in Lisbon, Portugal. His parents were Juan Rodriguez and Suzanne de Cruz, who is often referred to as Suzanne Lacroix, but really it's Suzanne de Cruz. I believe this is a church that he was baptized in. As best as I can figure out, it is the Church of Saint Jean-Baptiste. Jean-Baptiste. And any of you who have this knowledge on Portugal and Lisbon and can educate me a little bit, please, in the comments below, share what you know. I'd really love to know more about where Jean Rodrigue is from. Jean was a sailor and arrived in New France in that profession, and would actually be hired throughout his lifetime as a sailor and someone who could help others go places and do things And so he would receive a great deal of contracts. And if you look on some of the information about Jean, you'll see all the contracts that he signed. Very, very fascinating how he made his living. Even though he was from Portugal, he obviously, not necessarily obviously, but probably was Catholic. And so, of course, he was able to acquire. He arrived in 1668. She arrives in 1671. That gives him a good 4 years to build and create a life that can be offered to a fille du roi. And so she accepted his offer, and they were married October 28th, 1671 at Quebec City, and she did receive the bonus of £50. Family would settle at Beauport. Beauport, Quebec is one of the oldest European settlements in North America, founded in 1634 as a seigneury under Robert Giffard, a key colonization of New France. It is located east of Quebec City along the St. Lawrence River, and Beauport played a crucial role in the colony's agricultural development, with settlers growing wheat and raising livestock. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the community expanded, attracting craftsmen and farmers and laborers who contributed to the region's economic growth. The area was also significant in military history, particularly during the Battle of Beauport, 1759, which was a major engagement in the 7 Years' War, when French forces successfully repelled a British attack before the eventual Battle of the Plains of Abraham. By the 19th century, Beauport had transitioned from an agricultural hub to an industrial center known for its water-powered mills, tanneries, and shipbuilding. It officially became a city in 1976 before merging with Quebec City in 2002. So it now is a borough and not its own independent city. But it retains its historic charm and truly reflects the past of Quebec, as well as indicating how we can reinvent ourselves as well. And remember that Beauport means beautiful port. And where else would you think a sailor from Portugal would land? They would go on to have 5 children. Marianne would marry Jean-Baptiste Moreau and would have 8 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. Suzanne would marry Vincent Guillaume and would have 2 children, both of whom made it to adulthood. Vincent's mother was Jeanne Sicard, a fille du roi whom we have not yet profiled. Renée would marry Elisabeth Dauphin and would have 6 children, 5 of whom made it to adulthood. Vincent would marry Marie-Angélique Giroux and would have 8 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. And Jacques would marry Geneviève Caron and have 1 child, who also made it to adulthood. In the 1681 census, we find Jean Rodrigue and Leroy, their children, Marie, Suzanne, René, Vincent. They have 10 alfalfa. That's about 8 acres of land. By 1711, at the age, they were both 70 years old at that point, Anne and Jean gave all their possessions to their son Jacques in exchange for him housing and feeding them and taking care of them in their old age, if you will. About a year later, Jacques said, "I can't do this," and to kind of annul the contract. And then what happened by 1713, René and Vincent, their other 2 sons, took care of their parents. And so it was just an interesting drama. I don't often see this, so it was kind of like, wow, what's going on? And what did they have? Perhaps they were really challenging. Maybe they had Alzheimer's. We don't know. And by 1715, at the age of 74, Anne would pass away. And they would have been married about 44 years at that point, which is just amazing, amazing. Jean would himself pass away 5 years later in 1720, and he was 79 years of age. So they had a nice long life, and I'm happy for them as well. And they would leave us with a descendancy list of about 59 as of 1729. Now remember that Anne was older when she got married. She was 30 years old when she arrived in New France. So it is remarkable that she was able still to have children that produce children and all of that good stuff. So hats off, right? And so we come to the end of our story about Anne Leroy. What a wonderful story. I mean, here she is coming from Paris, going to New France at an older age, and finding love with a sailor from Portugal. I mean, can you say romance? And they would produce 5 children and would live a life at Beauvoir. And they would both reach a reasonably old age. So I love stories like that where they meet, they marry, they have children, all their children lived, and just it was a nice life. And I'm ever so grateful that Anne was able to take that leap, because it was a leap. And when she got here, she had to leap again and marry a man who didn't come from her culture. So I really admire that. And we are so grateful, Anne, that you came to our shores, that you believed in the promise of the new world, and that you gave of yourself and sacrificed so that your descendants can enjoy their lives. And there are, please, I want to know who are the descendants of this remarkable couple. And so, Anne, we thank you and we bless your memory, and we are grateful for your gifts. And I'm also grateful for my patron supporters and subscribers. You guys are the best. And you give me so much support and so much appreciation. Every time I get a little overwhelmed, I somehow get an email or a text or something that says, hey, I like this. And so I'm very, very pleased. So thank you to all of you who have been part of this journey that I am on as well. So until I see you on the next episode of Les Filles du Roi, au revoir.